Well, it is April 18th, 2011. It is almost 12 o'clock midnight, and the camera is still god awful. I am slightly inebriated. I just call it drunk. And, well, not really drunk, but slightly buzzed and slightly agitated that I never got around to eat that chocolate cake I was supposed to. Yeah, cake is the lie. Anyways, I am going to redo my first video. The introduction was kind of flat and bland, as I was told by certain someone. Anyways, my name is Jay, and this is my channel. It will be mostly about traveling and ranting. Well, and not so much about cake, unfortunately. I'm a anthropology student at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, Canada, and this video will serve as a introduction of mm, the rest of the videos, which will be about traveling mostly in China, since I'm leaving for China in 2 days actually, and I will try to make at least one video a day, at least one. And, well, unfortunately, China bans YouTube, so I will have to upload. Well, I have to email the video to a friend of mine, and he will do the uploading for me. All right. Um, the purpose of these videos, one is for record keeping. Also, I want to educate while entertain. I mean, we are all students until the day we die, and I try to learn one new thing a day. For example, this light sucks, and this camera sucks, and I'm trying to come up with the best way to adjust. And I am rambling, but I do blame it on the alcohol. Um, so this part of the video, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna explain what anthropology is in layman's term, because I hate jargons and I hate how other people explain it. My anthropology prof is probably gonna throw the book at me, but that's the first part. The second part is I'm gonna explain what traveling or backpacking is in layman's terms. Alright, so sorry, let's start with anthropology. What is anthropology? Anthropology is the study of human. Anthro meaning human, pology means the study of. And the study of human sounds very broad, right? Sounds very like broad, like study of table or chairs or wood or trees. Very broad, and you could do a lot of different things with it. It's a very broad category with many different disciplines. But let's look at it this way: you have psychology, which is study of one person or one person's brain. Then you have anthropology, which studies several people, a group of people, or ethnicity, culture, race. For you, if you please, you could say Asian or Chinese, more specifically, or Taiwanese, or Japanese, or Korean, their culture, how they eat, how they interact, what their mannerism, their culture, their history, their food, and that's anthropology, study of people. Then you have sociology, which is the study of society, which is like, that's, for example, Vancouver, you have different ethnic groups. Then the sociology would be studying the interaction with between different ethnic groups and how we could, you know, use that to our advantage. For example, help out a less fortunate group, say the homeless people. That's something sociologists would do. Anthropology would study, say, Chinese food or something. I don't know. That's a simple explanation of what anthropology is. And all right, so we have anthropology done. Wait, I'm gonna ramble a little bit about why I got into anthropology, why I become an anthropology student. I could become an anthropology student mostly by accident. I'm gonna say this because I initially thought it would grant me the power of mind reading, well, more like behavior analysis, so I know what you're thinking before you are thinking it. Like from the way you dress, the way you move, the way you talk, I could know what kind of person you are. I thought it would be a pretty nifty tool to have. But it turns out they don't really teach that at university. They don't teach behavior analysis in universities. I'm not sure where they learn it. Maybe the FBI. But I kind of got stuck with it. So now I am an anthropology student. That is my unfortunate story of how I got into involved in anthropology. But it is kind of fun. It's, well, I'd say a lot more fun than sociology. I mean, anthropology you do a lot of interviewing, studying, and looking at people. It's kind of creepy in a way, I guess, if you want to, like, people watching is people watching, talking to random people. If you see a guy, like, for example, me, I would be like walking down the road and see somebody doing something interesting, and I would stop and talk to them and talk to some people on the bus and just start random conversations, which is kind of weird, but it shouldn't be. I don't understand why the modern culture is so distant. People should be so distant with one another, and we cannot talk to each other without being awkward. Like, it should be able to talk to this beautiful girl right next to me and be like, "Hey, what's up?" and not be labeled as some creepy dude who's trying to initiate something. I just want to know, your story. I don't want to get in your pants. Well, I suppose I could, but I am actually a lot more interested in stories than pants, which is probably wrong. I don't know. Is it wrong? Anyways, that's all right. So we finished with anthropology. Now let's get on with the traveling part. What is a backpacker? What is the difference between a backpacker, traveler, a tourist? A backpacker would be somebody who travels with nothing but a backpack full of stuff. A backpack would be something you put on your back and not a very large one. Well, usually I would travel with somewhere between 10 kilo to 15 kilo, nothing more. And if anything more than that, it would be crushed, probably. Uh, a tourist would be somebody like my parents are like those people on buses that, like how there are like those tourist buses that drive by and open the door and like 50 people pops up, each with camera on their neck. Yeah, those are tourists. They come over here, they take pictures, they shop, and they leave, all in a hurry. But that's not how I do it. I go to a place, well, I would try to stay over at this place for at least over a week. Otherwise, how are you gonna get to know the place if you're just here to take pictures and take trophies? Like, hey, I've been here and the weather is nice, but you didn't really, you might, know the structure over here, but you don't really know the culture. You don't really know the people. You never talk to anybody over here. You just take pictures and you leave. That's not how an anthropologist would do it, or not how a backpacker would do it. You didn't actually intake the experience. You just sealed it in a camera, which is, I don't know. I wouldn't say wrong because something we learn in anthropology that there's never really anything that's wrong. It's just how you look at it in a different perspective. Like, you can't be objective and be like, hey, you're wrong, but you could say you are doing it differently from what I would do. I think I think that's how I would put it. Wait, I'm rambling again, aren't I? Damn alcohol. Anyways, how I would travel is I would go to a place. I would go to a place and I would, go to their worst of the worst. Well, I wouldn't say worst of the worst, but I wouldn't go to the 5 star hotel. I would go somewhere cheap, like local, eat local food, like a regular average citizen would eat. Then you live at where a regular average citizen will live. Then experience their daily life, their religious life, their political life, their relaxed vacation, their sunshine, their just do whatever they do and try to live their life. I think earlier, or well, it depends on the sequencing you're looking at these videos. I said something about you only live once, and if you get to experience more than your ordinary life, that's a bonus. You're earning bonus. That's an extra. That's like you're living an extra life, which is profit. Profit is good. So I wouldn't say self torture, but like I would try to test my limits. I'm not like going to do like Survivor Man style kind of thing, throw myself in the jungle with like nothing but a broken bike, and you have to trap squirrels and eat it, and skin it and eat it and cook it, and yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but I have done like lost in the jungle with nothing but my backpack and have to wrap myself in blankets and filter muddy water and do all that sorts of crazy stuff and pee on my own arm and yeah, to seal the wounds and stuff like that. Get chased by monkeys, kill some snakes. I've done these things, but not as extreme as he would do on TV. He's really my idol. I wish that one day I would do things like this. But if you ever travel with me, if you cannot handle crazy stuff like these, and you probably shouldn't. I've usually last time I was in China, I lived in these. This one time I lived in this really, really, really bad. I wouldn't even call it hotel. Not even a motel. It's more like hovels where like beds are connected together with these construction workers who live in like the worst condition possible, and everybody sleep in like giant bunk beds were like connected together. There's no bathroom, and you would go into the lawn back. Well, more like a bush, and you would just shit everywhere. Then can I say shit? I'm gonna say. And then you have to wash your butt with a hose. Yeah, that's 30. Well, that's more like 20 yuan. I think 20 yuan a night. 20 yuan a night would be $3 Canadian for a night, which is good because $3 you could buy 3 steamed buns or a small bowl of noodles. Yeah, that's nice. So that's half a day's meal. Yeah, once I start traveling, I start putting things in currency of steamed buns, which is $1, and bowls of noodles $5. No, 5 yuan, 5 yuan and 1 yuan. I put stuff in currency of food. That's how it counts. Which is strange. If you want to travel with me, this is the stuff you have to put up with. Awful living conditions and self-torture and general happy fun stuff. This concludes this video. If you have anything to complain or suggest or comments, write them. I don't care if you are angry or not angry. I think I generally say some offensive things. I am going to warn you, eventually I'll say some offensive things, but I say it with good intent.